Our solar system is a place of profound mystery, but in the modern age, these mysteries have a dangerous tendency to merge. Two of the greatest astronomical stories of our time are unfolding simultaneously. One is the story of a visitor, a tangible alien object from another star hurtling past Mars. The other is the story of a ghost, a hypothetical massive planet hiding in the darkness of our own outer system. One is a fact, the other is an inference, and in the public imagination, they are becoming dangerously, irresponsibly conflated. Viral headlines ask, is the interstellar comet 3I Atlas actually Planet 9? Social media threads speculate, did Planet 9's gravity pull this object toward Earth? This is a critical failure of scientific framing. It's the equivalent of mistaking a piece of confirmed, tangible evidence from a foreign crime scene for the search for a suspected, unseen accomplice. The confusion is understandable. Both narratives inhabit the same conceptual space, the cold, vast frontier of our solar system. Both involve gravity, orbits, and the thrill of discovery. But they are fundamentally different kinds of scientific problems. One is an exercise in analysis, the other is an exercise in detection. The visitor, interstellar comet 3I Atlas, is here, now, are observing it. We are taking its chemical fingerprint, tracking its trajectory past Mars in October 2025, and preparing to watch it skim the sun. The ghost, Planet 9, is a prediction. It is a powerful solution to a different puzzle, a way to explain why a handful of distant, icy bodies in the Kuiper Belt have orbits that all seem to be suspiciously aligned, as if a massive, unseen shepherd is herding them. But we have no direct observation. Not a single photon from this world has ever been confirmed. This conflation is not harmless. It muddles public understanding and undermines the very process of science. It blurs the line between a testable object and a falsifiable hypothesis. When we mix these two stories, we create a narrative soup where interstellar objects and hidden planets become interchangeable plot devices. This script is about media hygiene. It is about disentangling these two great and separate quests. We will clearly define the alien we can see and the ghost we are hunting. Because to understand either of these mysteries, we must first, and most importantly, keep them properly framed. Let us first define the visitor. This is the bedrock of our investigation. The object designated 3I Atlas is not a theory. It is a physical, tangible object. It is a fact. It is the third interstellar object ever confirmed to have entered our solar system, following 1I, Oumuamua, and 2I, Borisov. Its orbit is unequivocally hyperbolic, meaning it is not gravitationally bound to our sun. It is moving too fast. It came from the void, and it will return to the void. We have a precise timeline for its passage. A close flyby of Mars on October 3rd, 2025, a solar superior conjunction around October 21st, 2025, where it will hide behind the sun, and its perihelion, its closest and most active point, in late October. It will then reappear in December, allowing us to study it as it recedes, culminating in a final gravitational interaction with Jupiter's orbit on March 16th, 2026. We are not just watching it, we are dissecting it. Our entire planetary defense and observation network, Hubble, JWST, and the Mars fleet, including MRO, MAVEN, and TGO, is being mobilized. The light from its coma, the gas cloud around its nucleus, is being fed into our spectrometers. The chemical fingerprint is already telling us a remarkable story. Unlike many of our own comets, 3I Atlas appears to be overwhelmingly CO2 dominated. This highly volatile, dry ice is its engine, sublimating far from the sun and driving its activity. This gas, when struck by solar radiation, glows. we see the clear signatures of CN thalers, cyanogen, and famously, the swan bands of C2 dicarbon, which produce the vibrant green glow seen in many images. But the spectrum also holds anomalies. Observers have reported detecting spectral lines for nickel, Ni, but without the expected corresponding lines for iron, Fe. This is strange. In our system, these metals are almost always found together. Is this a new class of object? We can test its behavior directly. As the CO2 jets erupt, they act like tiny thrusters, pushing the nucleus. We can measure this. If the comet's orbit deviates even slightly from the path dictated purely by gravity, we have detected non-gravitational acceleration. This is a direct physical measurement of its engine's power. We can also observe its morphology. The reports of a sunward anti-tail are a testable trick of geometry. As Earth passes through the comet's orbital plane, we see the trail of heavy dust it left behind, edge on, appearing as a spike. When the Mars orbiters view it from a different angle in October, this spike should vanish. This is the scientific method in action. We have a real object, a timeline, a set of instruments, and a list of falsifiable questions. This is analysis. Now, let us define the ghost. This is not a fact. It is an inference. The object hypothesized as Planet 9 has never been seen. It has never been imaged. We have not detected a single photon from it. Its existence is proposed as the most elegant solution to a completely different mystery. In 2014, and more formally in 2016, astronomers Konstantin Batygin and Mike Brown highlighted a statistical anomaly. A small group of extreme trans-Neptunian objects, TNOs, icy bodies orbiting far beyond Neptune, don't have random orbits. Their orbits are physically clustered. Their perihelia, their closest points to the Sun, all point in roughly the same direction, and their orbital planes are similarly tilted. The statistical chance of this happening randomly is incredibly low, perhaps less than 0.1%. This is where the hypothesis is born. Something must be sculpting these orbits. The most powerful and simplest explanation is an unseen shepherd, a massive planet, perhaps 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth, lurking in the dark, on a vast eccentric orbit that takes it hundreds of times farther from the Sun than Earth. Its immense gravity, exerted over billions of years, would be the force that herds these TNOs, keeping their orbits aligned just as we see them. This hypothetical object is Planet 9. It is not an interstellar visitor. If it exists, it is a resident of our solar system, likely one of its original children, perhaps ejected into this distant orbit by a youthful Jupiter long ago. This hypothesis is powerful because it is falsifiable. If this planet exists, it must be somewhere. Based on the orbits it sculpts, astronomers can predict a general area of the sky where it should be. The hunt is on. The Vera Rubin Observatory, with its unprecedented ability to scan the entire sky deeply and rapidly, is the ultimate Planet 9 hunter. Its mission is to find faint, moving objects. A 5 Earth mass planet, even in the extreme dark, should be detectable. A second prediction is that as we discover more of these extreme TNOs, they too should fit this clustered pattern. If the next 20 we find have random orbits, the entire Planet 9 hypothesis will crumble. This is a search, not an analysis. We are data-starved, not data-rich. Iontales is a fast-moving, bright, measurable target. Planet 9 is a slow-moving, faint, statistical probability. This is where media hygiene breaks down. We have two powerful narratives running in parallel. One is fast, bright, and current. 3i Atlas is making its Mars flyby right now in October 2025. The other is slow, vast, and hypothetical, the patient hunt for Planet 9. The media ecosystem, optimized for clicks and simple grand stories, cannot keep them separate. It creates a narrative gravity. The larger, more emotionally resonant idea, the hidden giant planet in our own backyard, acts like a gravitational well, pulling the smaller, unrelated facts of 3I Atlas into its orbit. This happens for 3 reasons. First, lexical confusion. The public hears interstellar object, 3I Atlas, and giant planet, Planet 9, and merges them into the much more exciting interstellar planet. Second, the coincidence of timing. The arrival of a spectacular, real comet at the peak of the search for a hypothetical planet feels connected. Even if it isn't, it's a psychological bias. We look for patterns. Third, and most critically, is the nature of media. A headline that reads, "Spectrometers detect anomalous Nye-Gespoiler Phi ratios in CO2-rich interstellar comet is impenetrable." A headline that reads, "Is the alien comet Planet 9 is explosive." The complex patient work of science, the institutional delays required to verify data, the cross-checks, is reframed as a coordinated silence, which implies conspiracy. Let's be explicit about the error. IMRI Atlas is a comet a few kilometers wide, traveling at interstellar velocity through the inner solar system. Planet 9 is a hypothesis about a planet 5 to 10 Earth masses wide, orbiting hundreds of times farther out. They are not just different objects. They are different categories of objects, in different locations, defined by different evidence. Atlas is defined by photons we are catching in our telescopes right now. Planet 9 is defined by a statistical shadow it casts on the orbits of objects we've already found. Mixing them is a profound error in scale, location, and scientific certainty. This is not harmless trivia. This narrative gravity creates a hybrid monster, a story that is part fact, part fiction, and emotionally compelling, which actively misleads the public and poisons the well for when a real discovery is made. The damage of this conflation is not abstract. It actively undermines the public's trust in the scientific method. When we blur fact and hypothesis, we are telling a lie. We are teaching our audience that all scientific claims are equal, that a statistical inference is the same as a direct observation. This is a profound and dangerous failure of literacy. We are, right now in 2025, collecting an unprecedented, data-rich portrait of an alien object, 3I Atlas. We are using the entire Mars fleet to get a clean look at its CO2-driven engine. This is a story about answers. The Planet 9 search is a story about a question. By mixing them, we devalue both. This creates a cry wolf scenario. The media, in its hunger for a grand narrative, attaches the Planet 9 hypothesis to the 3I Atlas event. When 3I Atlas is finally conclusively shown to be an interstellar comet, which is by itself one of the most staggering discoveries imaginable, the public response is not awe. It is disappointment. It is, "Oh, so it was just a comet." The real, verified marvel of science is framed as a letdown, a failure to deliver on a promise science never made. Worse, it poisons the well for the actual Planet 9 search. When, or if, the Vera Rubin Observatory does find a legitimate candidate, the public will be understandably cynical. They'll say, "Didn't you already try to sell us this story with that comet?" This leads to a measurable erosion of trust. When journalists at press conferences waste their limited time asking, "Can you confirm this comet isn't Planet 9?" they are not asking the questions that matter. They are not asking about the anomalous Nye-Phi ratio. They are not asking about the non-gravitational acceleration. They are not asking what the CO2 dominance tells us about the comet's home star. The real story, The data we are actually collecting is ignored in favor of debunking a fiction. The conflation, therefore, is an act of distraction. It diverts our collective focus from the tangible, revolutionary science we are doing and forces us to spend our energy cleaning up a narrative mess we did not create. The resolution, then, is not to choose one mystery over the other. It is to enforce the intellectual discipline to keep them separate. The story of 3i Atlas is one of analysis. It is a frantic, data-rich encounter. The story of Planet 9 is one of detection. It is a slow, patient, data-starved search. One is a piece of forensic science on an alien visitor. The other is a detective story about a ghost in our own house. The 3i Atlas story is now concluding its encounter phase. After reappearing from behind the sun in December 2025, we watch it fade, its CO2 engine sputtering out as it returns to the cold. Its final act is on March the 16th, 2026, when its geometry relative to Jupiter gives it a final gravitational nudge, sealing its exit trajectory. It leaves us with a parting gift, a hard drive full of data. We know it is HSO2 rich. We know its Nephi ratio is anomalous. We have a confirmed profile of a building block from another star. This narrative is about answers. The Planet 9 story, by contrast, is all question. The hypothesis remains powerful but unproven. The Vera Rubin Observatory, year after year, will image the southern sky, hunting for that single slow-moving point of light that validates the inference. Every new trans-Neptunian object discovered will be a test. Does its orbit fit the pattern, or does it add to the noise, slowly chipping away at the hypothesis? This narrative is about the hunt. This is why media hygiene is paramount. Conflating these two stories, as we have seen, serves neither. It disappoints the public on the real tangible results of the comet, and it builds cynicism for the long, difficult search for the planet. The proper frame is to celebrate both for what they are. Iwanor Atlas is the science of what we found. Planet 9 is the science of what we are looking for. And in the grand, unfolding exploration of our solar system, we absolutely need both.